Hello and welcome to Moms on Mics. I'm Joanne,
I'm Cash.
And I'm Sophia.
and this episode we're going to talk about all the myths surrounding Halloween. The razor blades or poison in candy, the drugs being handed out, and they all happen to your parents, friends, aunts, friends, kids, or whoever. As moms, we search our kids' candy before they are allowed to eat any, just in case, right? Even though logically we know the stories are not true. No one is wasting good money on edibles to hand out to random kids, especially without getting to be there to witness the hilarity. I'm sorry.
It's not really funny.
It's not. It's not, but it is. Like it's not like health-wise and everything, but I bet you they'd be hilarious. Right? Like so it's not funny at all.
Oh my God.
But no one's wasting their money on edibles and I mean that shit's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
You're not handing it out to kids without getting to at least witness, the funny side, but as we should, we still check just in case. The world is full of crazies and it's our job to keep our kids safe. And the stories had to come from somewhere, right? So the razor blades and candy first popped up in the 1960s and 70s when newspapers reported scattered cases of children supposedly finding blades or pins in apples or candies. In 1974, the panic grew after the tragic case of Ronald O'Brien in Texas, who killed his own son with cyanide-laced pixie sticks in order to collect life insurance. That case was real, but it wasn't a random stranger, it was his parent.
I always thought that my parents were just lying to me. They wanted to check our candy so they can eat it first.
My parents did not check my candy ever. See, in England, you don't have Halloween. It's kind of coming there now, but we never celebrated it. So when we came here and we like learned about it, like they didn't know about all the other stuff, so they didn't even buy us costumes. We had to figure out our own shit and go and trick or treat. I mean, it was amazing because we got to eat everything, but I don't know. Way to go, Mom and Dad. Thanks for checking on that candy. But it's fine. It was all safe.
During the month of October in 1974, children are excited, planning their costumes: Superman, Richard Nixon, Casper the Friendly Ghost, or the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Eagerly awaiting to go trick-or-treating, kids went out by themselves, eating as much as they could as they went from house to house, blissfully unaware that a horrific incident was about to happen in the Southwest community in Houston, Texas, that would change Halloween forever. Not just for that community, but for the world. Ronald Clark O'Brien lived in Deer Park with his wife and two children. He was an optician and a deacon at his church. In 1974, his financial situation was dire. He was more than $100,000 in debt. Instead of getting a second job or refinancing or downsizing like normal people do, this asshole bought $30,000 life insurance policy for each of his children. On Halloween morning, he bought potassium cyanide from a garden shop and put it in a pixie stick, a sweet and sour powdered candy that was popular at the time. That night, O'Brien, his two children, and two neighborhood children were visiting their neighbors. One house was dark, indicating that the owner was not home. The children wanted to skip the house, but O'Brien stayed behind and told the children that the owner of the house gave him 4 pixie sticks from them. The ends of the straw-like containers had been stapled after being opened. When the O'Briens got home, Ronald urged his son Timothy to try the candy. He loosened up the powder. Timothy immediately started vomiting and convulsing. Ronald testified that he held his son as he died.
What kind of asshole?
What the hell did I just read? Holy crap. Who
Right?
does that to their own child?
Right? Like, I'm sorry, man, but if you're in debt, get another job. Get your wife to get a job. Like, it's the 70s. Mom stayed home, right? Like, go to work, go get a job, and just keep paying your bills. Like, you don't kill your kids because you got money problems.
Oh
A
my
decent thing to do
God.
would be get an insurance policy on yourself and off yourself so your wife and kids are left with the insurance policy.
Right?
That's a decent thing to do. That's what dads do.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's awful. And the fact that he gave it to like the neighbors' kids as well.
Yeah.
Like, thankfully, nobody else died, but still, yeah, this guy's a dick.
All right. An uproar went through the neighborhood looking for other poisoned candy. 4 sticks were found still in the children's bags, and 1 stick was found unopened in bed with a child. Eventually, the police learned about O'Brien's purchase of the cyanide and life insurance policies, and a Harris County grand jury charged him with capital murder. O'Brien hired Marvin Teague, a legendary criminal defense attorney, to no avail. After 46 minutes of deliberation, he was found guilty of murder and was ordered to be executed. Appeals took 7 years, but the court ordered that the sentence be carried out on Halloween night of 1982. 2 more challenges to lethal injections followed, but he was put to death on March 31st, 1984, almost 10 years later. The night of the execution, some people stood outside the jail and shouted, "Trick or treat." Opinions on the death penalty are widely divergent in our state and nation. What is not subject to debate is that killing one's own children and endangering other children is terrible. O'Brien was called the Candy Killer and the man who killed Halloween. Those of us who take our children out on All Souls Day should always be careful about what they get and what they eat. The media attention around the incident made it seem like there were hidden dangers lurking in every trick-or-treat bag. Hospitals even offered free x-rays of candy to check for metal objects.
Yeah, so basically, this one incident created like this mass hysteria in the 70s because they didn't have social media or the internet. Like, there was no way to check facts, right? So basically, it was all like a major game of telephone where like the story got spread around and it just kind of blew up. And thanks to that one asshole, we all had to spend Halloween night checking our kids' candy bags and stuff. And I mean, not like obviously that's not a big deal to check their bags and stuff, but there's always been this like fear around Halloween that,
Yeah.
crazies are out to kill your kids and stuff. They're not. Okay, so classic Halloween myths and urban legends. So the poisoned Halloween candy, similar to the razor blades myth, parents have long feared strangers tampering with candy, poison, drugs, pins, etc. However, there are almost no verified cases of strangers doing this. Most incidents were either hoaxes or cases where someone in the child's own family was responsible. So, Halloween 1959, Dr. William V. Shine, a dentist from Fremont, California, was reportedly having a rough day. Kids came around to his house that night, ringing the bell and calling trick or treat. Lots, maybe a couple hundred, showed dressed as Marilyn Monroe, Mickey Mouse, or witches and vampires. In 1959, every kid in America under the age of 10 or so was out on Halloween night, making the rounds. They would go in gangs and groups, the older ones on their own, the little ones with older kids or their parents, ringing bells, gathering candy, loot, and howling and hooting, blissfully unaware of an event that was going to shake up Halloween in a way that it would never come back from. Dr. Shane answered the door and gave out treats all night, but his treats turned out to be a mean and nasty trick. Police investigators discovered he had dispensed 450 candy-coated laxative pills into kids' outstretched bags. 30 of those kids became very, very sick. Dr. Shane was charged with outrage of public decency and unlawful dispensing of drugs. Nobody knew then that was the last year of the carefree innocence of Halloween.
The poor parents.
The poor parents that had to deal. I mean, obviously awful for the kids. Oh my God. The poor parents having to clean up that mess.
Like laxatives.
Right? Like, what the hell?
Crazy.
People are fucking mental. Laxatives cover, or like chocolate laxatives, whatever. That shit you give to your teacher, that's a cunt.
Or your day home provider.
Hey, no. No. You don't give those to us.
Drug-laced candy or edibles given to kids. Every few years, warnings spread that strangers will hand out cannabis, gummies, or drug-laced candy. In reality, These products are expensive, and there are no credible reports of strangers deliberately giving them to children. Halloween 1960 began the era of Halloween sadism. Was it still safe to trick or treat? What maniac might put an LSD tab or poisoned Tootsie Roll or a razor-spiked apple in little Susie's bag? Stories surfaced of pins, needles, razor blades, but they would fade away under closer examination. Nevertheless, Americans came to believe that kids weren't safe at Halloween. Parents scrutinized their kiddies' loot and confiscated anything weird. No cookies, no apples, no unwrapped candies. That was obvious. Some towns set up X-ray stations at hospitals to check the candy. The festive and free romping of the streets for trick-or-treat faded into a circuit at the mall. A party at church, a supervised promenade to select neighbors' homes. But through all of that, even up to today, there has never been a single
Substantiated.
instance of an anonymous sadist causing death or life-threatening injury. Not one.
Do you know what? I bet you it's all these parents that are like, fuck, I hate taking my kids out trick-or-treating. Let's tell them that strangers are gonna fuck with their candy so we don't have to take them trick-or-treating.
Maybe.
Like, the mass hysteria, man. The 60s and 70s were wild. And I mean, I wasn't born to 78 till 78, so I'm not speaking from experience. Just saying some of the stories and some of the like shit that they came up with.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 46.
47?
46. I'm not 47 till December.
Ah.
We went through this before. I'm the
We
oldest.
did go
Yeah.
through this
Yeah, we did.
before.
Yep.
We did go through this before.
I'm old. I'm just not that old. They seem so wild. Some of the stories that you hear from people that like, I don't know. I think they were awesome times. Awesome, but weird.
Yeah.
Just to like come up like, oh. I mean, I guess it was the season or the like decade of the serial killers, so I can understand where their fears came from, but most serial killers just killed women and not like children. And they wanted to do it themselves. They didn't poison them. Just say.
Right. Okay.
I don't, it just seems like it seems so bizarre to think. Maybe I'm naive, but I'm like, nobody is gonna, I don't know, like,
Oh, I think there has been there's always something in the news about some kid finding something in their candy. I
All of-
remember hearing it on the
so
news.
this is a phenomenon, right? Like, and this is what I kept finding. Everybody has a memory of hearing a story. And a lot of people say it was on the news because I remember, I'm like, no, I remember when I was younger, there was one on the news. There isn't. There isn't any cases other than these ones that I found.
No, I know 100% there was something. It was on Global News. I know it.
Okay, so I'm not saying that the kids didn't fight,
No,
but it was not like it was always a hope or it was always
Okay.
something like they had put it in their bag. It was never a case of a
Right.
stranger putting things in kids' candy bags, like it was, or in kids' candies. That's never, it just hasn't happened. So, I mean, I scoured the internet because I was
think
like,
it has happened.
well,
That's it.
you can scour the
I
internet.
don't
if you
agree
find-
with you.
That's fine.
You're wrong. I'm right.
I just think the stories, even if it's real or not, they just make it that everybody's scared.
Oh, for sure. And I mean,
everyone just doesn't want it anymore.
You should never back in the day, they used to, my husband's told me stories as one lady when he lived in Hannah when he was a kid. And so there was one lady, actually, it might have been his grandma, but she used to make these popcorn balls and hand them out at Halloween, and everybody loved them. Like, all the kids lined up to this house to get these popcorn balls and they had a great time. Now, like even when my kids were little, so like 20 years ago, if they got anything homemade, as nice as it looked, I just wouldn't feed it to them. Not because I was afraid of it being poison. I was afraid whoever made it didn't wash their hands properly or that, they had cats and they're like, it was just a germ thing for me. It wasn't a case of like that I thought they were getting poisoned or anything. And any unwrapped candy you wouldn't eat because it would probably be covered in lint and shit and stuff anyway. Like it was just kind of gross. So I totally get that. But I think the fear of like finding things like poison and stuff like that in your candy and stuff. It's just become this huge inflated story. And I totally can see Sophia's on her phone scouring the internet to find
I
the
found
story.
something already.
Okay, what'd you find?
Okay, the RCMP is warning parents to stay vigilant.
Vigilant.
Vigilant this Halloween after a needle was recently found in candy at a Newfoundland trick-or-treat event, and illegal cannabis-laced treats disguised to look like popular brands were discovered on Vancouver Island.
Okay, and did they say it was a stranger that put them in, or was it the kid's parent, or
was attached to? No, it doesn't say.
see, so that's the thing. Every report that I found was not substantiated. There was no follow-up. It was
Well,
a
yeah,
kid
because they don't know who did it. Somebody gives out
No, but
candy.
it was never like confirmed stuff. It was like a kid found this, but it was never confirmed that it was actually not the kid or the kid's parents that put the shit in the bag for their like 5 minutes of fame. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Okay, it says here, Vancouver arrested 6 suspects believed to be involved in the distribution of illegal cannabis-laced edibles. So thousands of counterfeit cannabis-laced edibles were seized, including chocolate bars, candies, and chips with packaging resembling popular name brand snacks like Kit Kat and Rolos.
well, when I was looking, I didn't find that, so
But it's just that fear that they put out
yeah.
there, right? Like one story, one bad apple.
So
Yeah.
Toronto police issue public safety alert after nail found in Halloween chocolate bar, needle found in chocolate bar collected during Halloween trick-or-treating.
The other thing that
So it is happening.
Okay, but the other
Right.
thing that I was finding though was that the companies that made the chocolate bar cannot say for sure that that didn't happen in the factory when making the chocolate bar. So they can't say for sure someone bought the chocolate bar and put the needle in or put the whatever in. They can't say it didn't happen in the factory versus someone putting shit in there. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. So it says here RCMP in Central Alberta are investigating after an unknown substance presumed to be fentanyl was found in a child's Halloween candy.
wasn't that the one though that they found that the dad was doing the fentanyl?
I have no idea. It doesn't say.
Yeah, because I would find things like that, but there's no confirmation that it's a stranger putting shit in. Like, because I did say earlier
But
that,
it's there.
yeah, but like I said earlier though, that what did it say? That there's no cases that they can confirm wasn't, but it wasn't a random stranger, right? They can't confirm that cases are not done by, or that they're done by random strangers versus someone they know.
Right.
And so that's kind of the point, right? Like we don't know if it's like family members doing it or random strangers doing it. Either way, it's not as often as parents seem to think. It's not. I don't think Halloween's that dangerous. Sorry, I just don't. I mean, even
No,
when
I have never found anything in my kids'
Right?
candy, right?
Me neither.
even when there was the pandemic, everyone was like terrified of doing like trick-or-treating because you could get COVID from the candy, and so they were like, really?
Wipe down all your candy with Lysol disinfectant
Right.
wipe.
I was like, woohoo, I get a year off of having to answer the door. Just because my dog goes nuts every time the doorbell rings, and I was like, thank goodness I get to skip a year without looking like an asshole.
All right. Needles, pins, tacks, or razor blades hidden in apples. This one was a 1960s to 70s scare. Hospitals even offered free x-rays of Halloween candy because of fear. Again, actual cases were rare and usually traced back to pranks. According to police reports and studies, not one child has been killed by a sadistic stranger on Halloween with a deadly treat. The story of the razor blade and the apple is simply an urban legend. These are stories told and retold that seem like they could be true. It's possible that these sorts of things could happen, but they usually contain a warning against the dangers of urban life in the guise of a good story. And the Halloween sadist. an otherwise productive member of society who turns into a psychopath just one night of the year is pretty unlikely. This holiday has always been about death and fear. The tainted treat-toting psycho is but a new icon in the pantheon of Halloween spooks. Then there's the practical side. First of all, how do you hide a razor blade in an apple without putting a telltale gash in the skin? And honestly, who among us would root through Snickers bars and Butterfingers to sneak a bite of an apple on Halloween? Ain't nobody eating that apple.
Right? That's just it. Like, I'm sorry.
Those go in the garbage.
Yeah. Or like, here, Mom. Or, hey, look, I'll
Yeah,
take this apple
yeah.
to my teacher at school the next
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Okay, so satanic ritual kidnappings on Halloween. Some people believe Halloween is a time when cults or Satanists abduct children or pets for rituals. This was heavily tied to the satanic panic of the 1980s, but there's no real evidence of widespread ritual activity tied to Halloween. The Satanic Panic was a widespread fear that started in the 1980s, mainly in North America, about secret groups of Satan worshippers supposedly abusing children in bizarre rituals. It began with a book in 1980 called Michelle Remembers, where a psychiatrist and his patient, who later became his wife, claimed she had recovered hidden memories of being abused in satanic rituals. The idea spread quickly, leading people to believe there were hidden cults sacrificing children, making child pornography, and brainwashing kids. The media, therapists, and even some police fueled the fear, and thousands of accusations were made, especially against daycare workers. Jesus. The most famous was the McMartin preschool trial, which went on for 7 years but ended with no convictions. In total, there were over 12,000 accusations, but investigators could not find solid proof of any organized satanic cults. The Satanic Panic was fucking wild. That went on until like the mid 90s, right? Like the West Memphis 3. Do you remember that case?
No.
Really?
Really? Why?
I was born late 80s. I didn't really hear much.
But like with Damien Eccles and the all the famous people that like got to get like the Dixie Chicks were involved and they all tried to like get them to free these kids because they were falsely accused of murdering 3 boys
I don't
in
remember.
West Memphis. Oh,
My
we
mom
might have to cover that
remember.
case one time.
We should, actually. It
It's-
sounds
It
interesting.
is so I've read so many books on this case because there's a huge like Facebook groups and shit, and it's like either you think they're innocent or you think they're absolutely guilty. And honestly, there's no evidence saying that they're guilty. So if you think they're guilty, you're wrong. But whatever. People are entitled to their wrong opinion. But they just, yeah, it's a crazy case. And it was all from the Satanic Panic. Like how the cops handled it, how the judge, it's awful. It's such
We
a
should cover it.
yeah, it's one of my, it's probably the case that got me into like true crime. Yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, that the Satanic Panic, like Halloween was, I mean, if people looked up what Satanism actually is and stuff, and people that like, it's not what you think. Like, they're not devil worshippers. There's totally a difference. And it terrified people. Like, oh my God, they're wearing all black. Like that was a huge part of it. Like if you wore all black, you must be a Satanist. Like what the hell? Like what kind of music you listen to? Like even Metallica, they got involved in the West Memphis 3 case and yeah, it was a huge deal. And it was all basically the Satanic Panic that just created this huge thing around this tragic murder of these boys that no one ever remembers their name, but they remember the people that went to jail. Like they went to jail. They were, I think, Damien Eccles, I think, was 17 or 18 when he went to jail. And he went to jail, he was on death row for like 20 years. And
Crazy.
he didn't do it. So, yeah, it was a crazy case. But to think that people thought Halloween was the time for doing all these rituals and stuff, like nuts.
Today's researchers agree it was a moral panic, meaning people's fears and imaginations ran away from the facts, creating a wave of false accusations. black cats being harmed. There's a long-standing myth that black cats are at risk of being stolen or harmed on Halloween. While shelters sometimes restrict black cat adoptions in October out of caution, actual evidence of ritualized harm is scarce. Poisoned Halloween decorations, arsenic in masks and paint. In the early 20th century, people worried about toxic face paints or cheap masks containing lead or arsenic. While there were legitimate safety issues with old materials, the myth that modern Halloween makeup is laced with poison still pops up. The haunted house snuff film myth. Some say there are haunted houses where if you make it to the end, you'll see a real murder. But this has never been verified or remains pure urban legend. Who would want to see a real murder at the end of that thing?
Right? A haunted house, like I love horror stuff and I love seances and Ouija boards and stuff like that. But haunted houses, I hate when people chase me and I hate when people like jump out and scare me. So I just don't go to haunted houses. But
I've been to a few as a kid, but I would, if I ever saw a real murder at the end of it, I'd
right?
back.
Yeah, it's just, and who volunteers to get murdered? Or who like volunteers to do the murdering? Like
Or how do you
what?
even have a video of that real murder?
Right? It's just, it's so weird.
Candles and jack-o'-lanterns causing fires. While accidents can happen, the widespread belief that trick-or-treaters' costumes are constantly catching fire from pumpkins is exaggerated.
Do you guys ever remember telling your kids or being told as kids to not go close to the pumpkins because they would end up on fire? Do you remember that?
I was so
No.
bad as a kid.
I don't see because I wasn't like we didn't do Halloween in England, so when I was really little, I never experienced that stuff. But I remember the first time that I was taking my kids out, and the first time they had like capes or long shit. So that, and I remember it was either my husband or my mother-in-law. One of them was like, "Don't go close to the pumpkins; you'll catch on fire." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, why? And they're like, well, they're flammable. I'm like, well, why are they wearing it if it's that flammable? Like, it just seems so outrageous. And I mean, I guess like accidents happen and stuff, but like you walk close by and suddenly you're engulfed in flames. It just seemed a little.
See, I was just told that because I always like to touch it. I like to play with fire, so I'd always like play with the flames.
Well, that's just weird. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, like my mom would have candles just on the table, and I would literally just play with the flames, like just touch it. You know how
I
you
thought
take
playing
your
with
hair out?
I thought playing with the wax was cool, but not the flame.
I
Yeah.
did the wax too, but yeah, the flame. Like, you know how they tell you to put out a flame? You like put your two fingers and you put it on? That's what I do.
I have this cool thing that I like, it's on a stick and it's got like a thing at the end and you just boop
Yeah.
and it
Cash, did you
Stubs them
burn
out.
your fingers?
No.
How
It's
did you not
something
burn your fingers?
because it's something I like to say you would they teach you how to do it in like the wild, but it's something there's a way that
In
you
the wild.
Lick your fingers and then do it.
No,
No? Um,
I'd have to find it, but there's just a way that you grab the flame and it puts it right out.
but that's hot.
No, it doesn't. There's a way to it.
I'm not laughing at
I had
what
to
you're saying.
I had to entertain myself as a kid, okay? So there's a lot of things. You know, take your hair out and watch it frizzle on the flame.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just envisioning like when you're out in the wild
Well,
as a
because
child.
I was never in sparks or anything, so I don't know how to explain. Like, I learned how to make a fire with sticks, or I learned how to make a fire with a magnifying glass, but I
who
never was in
teaches like what do you
sparks.
mean? Okay, so who taught you that stuff then?
You liked fire, hey?
Yeah.
We used to set bugs on fire with the magnifying glass, okay?
What?
What? Oh my God, that's mean.
That's why I said we had to entertain ourselves as kids.
I mean, I did a lot of weird shit, but I didn't light stuff on fire.
I'll find out. I'll search of what I mean by like you literally put your fingers over the flame and it's
Like I've
supposed to put
seen
out.
it done. Like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But doesn't it hurt?
No.
I've never done it.
I'm gonna make my son do it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, I need you to do this and show me how it works. Only because their hands are tough because they work with their hands all day. I have delicate, girly hands. These hands don't see, they see the keyboard. They don't see hard work like they do. So I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna light a candle and I need you to
Put it out
put that shit out with
with
your
your fingers.
fingers. Yep. He'll be like, what? And
My
do it.
mom,
And it'll be nothing. I'll be like,
my mom used to have like the big three wick candles that sit on her table, and she'd light them, and that's all we'd sit there doing for an hour.
that's so sad.
But it would never go out either sometimes. Like sometimes it'd go out, we have to light again. But I also like the smell of when you blow out a candle.
I do like the smell of that.
I love the smell of that.
Do you know what I really hate? When the candles that smell like pie. Like when you light a candle and it's like apple pie scented, and you're like, because you buy them and you're like, oh, I like the smell of apple pie. But then when you're burning them and you're like, well, now I want a fucking pie. God damn it. They piss me off so much. And I do it to myself all the time. I go to like Bath and Body Works and I get all my like candles and stuff for the season. And I'm like, oh, these are gonna smell great. And then I'll like burn them and I'm like, fuck, now I need to make a pie. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen to me.
You don't like the smell and then
No, I love the smell, but it doesn't make me want to bake.
I just want a pie.
Sugar cookie candles do not make me want to bake sugar cookies.
Well, how else do you
Apple
get to eat
pie
them?
candles do not make me want to bake apple pies.
See, it might not make me want to make it, but I definitely want one.
Yeah, I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
eat it. So I make it so I can eat it.
Oh no, I just go buy one.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, now I get it. I'm like, well, how are you eating the pie? I'm so confused.
Oh my lordy.
Can we take a minute to make fun of the fact that in some of the most popular Halloween costumes was Richard Nixon? I'm sorry. Like I said, because we didn't have Halloween when I was little, it was so we moved here in like September. And so the first Halloween, everyone was like, what are you gonna be for Halloween? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, what do you mean? I'll be me. And they're like, no, what are you gonna dress up as? I'm like, what for? And I'm like, had no idea what it was. Like, I'd seen movies, but other than E.T., there's not really. It wasn't really a lot of movies that had the like Americanized Halloween in it, right? So I was like, I don't, and they're like, well, for trick-or-treating. I'm like, so they had to explain what it was and that you had to wear a costume and stuff. Well, we were poor. So when I asked my parents for a costume, first of all, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so I had to explain it to them and they're like, well, just make something. Well, I'm 11. What the fuck do you make when you have no idea what it is, right? So I can't even remember what oh, I think I put my snowsuit on and I was like, I'm a skier.
Aw, that's
Because
cute.
I'm like, I don't know what to do. Because I was gonna wear my like football or soccer uniform, but I was like, it's fucking cold here. That ain't happening. So then I put my like snowsuit on and I was a skier. And it was just so weird. But like seeing all these costumes, like people dressed up and stuff, it was really bizarre. And some of the costumes, like you could always, some kids had like homemade costumes. And then there was the kids that had like the store bought. The store bought in the 90s were not that great, but you could always tell. And then there was the ones that their like parents obviously made their costume for them, so it was a bit more elaborate and stuff. I can't remember what my point was.
Richard Nixon.
Right, right. But I don't remember, like, it was always like witches and vampires and like scary stuff, right?
Yeah.
When did it make the switch into like just regular characters? Like, there was always, I think, like Star Wars was always a thing, but usually it was like scary stuff. But now it's like, I don't like every character from the TV
yeah.
or movie or
It's
whatever.
everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
There's definitely a lack of creativity sometimes. I guess it could go either way. I say that, and then sometimes I'm like, wow, that's incredible. Like that, your mom and dad made you a great costume, right? Like some of them have really cool stuff, but I don't know. Do you guys like the store-bought or to make them yourself?
I'm more of a store-bought kind of person.
Yeah, I'm lazy, so
I'm
unless
just
it's where we
not creative enough to make Halloween costumes. I have a friend who makes them all the time, but I'm just not that creative.
I think some of them look hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend that she's really good at putting costumes together. I will say my favorite costume that I have ever worn, I wore last year and maybe the year before. My friend had a party and you had to come as famous couples. Well, my husband was not here, so I had to go by myself. So I was like racking my brain for like what f famous couple could I do with just me. So I was Negan and Lucille.
I don't know
Oh
who
my
that
God, you guys don't know that. I'm like, look how
Do you know Cash? Do you know who that
Nope.
is? Oh,
I have
thank
no
God.
idea.
'Cause
God damn it.
I'm the only
It's
one that doesn't know.
he's from The Walking Dead. Do
Oh,
you guys
okay.
ever watch The Walking Dead? The guy with the
Yeah,
baseball
I
bat?
watched the first few seasons and then I got bored of it.
Okay. Well, he was the guy with the baseball bat. The baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Okay.
So I got a miniature baseball bat because I wanted it to look somewhat my size. And real baseball bats are gigantic, and I look so silly. So it's like a small version. And then I made fake barbed wire out of like string and paint and something else that went in with it. I forget what it was. Anyway, so it's like wrapped in this like fake barbed wire. And so then I had like a leather jacket and stuff. So I was Negan and Lucille. I was so proud of myself. Clearly, I'm still so proud of myself. But yeah, that was my favorite.
So you do it, but where do you go with your Halloween costume? Like where did you go?
It was just to my friend's house.
Oh, so there was
She
a
did like
party.
a party, and
Oh,
then
okay.
last year,
I'm like, do you walk down the street and scare kids? Like, what do you do?
no, so last year we went to Hubtown. They had a Halloween party, and so I wore that Negan costume again because I was just so proud of it.
Awesome.
But yeah, but I think this year I think we're gonna go to the Heritage Park. They're doing like a Halloween spooky thing, and I think that would be so cool.
What's it called?
Oh, why would you ask me
Because I know
that?
my
I don't remember.
daughter, like, is
Let
it
me
every
see.
night? That one that's every night? Because
I
my
think
daughter
it's like
goes,
every night in
yeah,
October for a while. Yeah.
my daughter goes to that with her hockey team. She went there last year. They all dressed up. It was fun. But
Nice.
they have like one for like 3 to 16 and then 16 plus, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that.
But I heard it was really good, so it's fun. It's a fun night.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
also did the Dash of Doom. So basically it's like a 5K run or walk and you get to bring your dog. So you dress up and then lots of people dress up their dogs.
No?
And so my dogs are terrified of those kind of situations, so I did it. We were supposed to be a huge group of us. Where I'm like, okay, because we have to do a walk and we're not running, let's all be zombies because we're walking. And then one of my friends was like, no, let's do Barbies. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, this girl does not like Barbie stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm zombie Barbie. And then everybody in the group ended up not being able to make it. So there was just me and her. And then her costume, there was a big mix up. I forget, she ended up in a onesie for something. She was not a Barbie, and it was her idea to be Barbies in the first place. I was like, God damn it. But yeah, we did this. So it's like a charity thing for, I think it's for the RSPCA, like the pound, like with all the dogs and stuff and the cats. Is that the SPCA?
hmm
Okay, so it raises money for them basically, but it's so cool to see all the dogs like dressed up in costumes and stuff. It's the coolest thing. If anybody can, definitely check it out. Another friend and I are gonna do it this year, and she has three dogs. It's like three, so two Australian Shepherds and a German Shepherd. And I'm trying to convince her. So it's Stephanie, who you guys met. I'm trying to convince her to be, oh, what's her name from Game of Thrones, the Mother of Dragons.
hmm
And so that her dogs could be dragons.
Isn't it like Khaleesi
Yes,
or
yes, thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what you gotta do. Because she's got like long blonde hair. She totally rocked the Khaleesi thing. And then with her three dogs as dragons. Yeah, I think that would be so cool.
That would be cool. That's cute.
Yeah. Do you guys go out for Halloween? Cash, I
Uh,
guess you have to take your kids. You probably don't,
I
do you, Sophia?
I do.
Do you dress up with them?
No, the most you get out of me is like little headbands or face paint, but that's about it.
I follow her while she trick or treats. There's usually a really big Halloween bash at my husband's social gathering house
Gotcha. Yeah.
every year. And yeah, we usually sometimes we go, sometimes I'm just not feeling it, right?
Yeah.
I'd
Do you
rather
dress up then?
yeah, if we go to the social gathering house,
Yeah.
we dress up. If I'm taking Anissa out, no, I might throw on a onesie or right, but yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cash, did I send you that reel of when you take your short friend out
Yes,
trick-or-treating?
yes. Hey, I'm the tallest.
Right? I'm like, we could totally get away with that and split the candy. I am doing, so in Okotoks this year, they're doing a witch's broom or like a paddle. So basically, we paddleboard at the lake in Okotoks and we have to dress up as witches. Well, I don't have a witch costume.
That sounds
So,
like so much fun.
right? So what I did,
Cute.
I just ordered this oversized sweatshirt that's green and it says witch on it.
And then just go to Walmart and buy a hat, witch's hat.
Well, and then I got some stripy leggings that are
Yeah.
like the green, they match, they're green and black, and the green matches the green sweatshirt. So I'm like, that's cute.
And buy a helmet. I mean, not a helmet, sorry. A hat. Jesus.
But yeah, I would go buy a witch's hat and be like, I'm a witch. It says right there on my shirt.
That's
Because then I
perfect.
could wear the shirt for like for work and stuff,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that was kind of my plan. Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun.
Halloween's on a Friday this year too.
Right? Thankfully,
nice.
this paddleboard is on the 11th of October
Cool.
because I feel like every year for Halloween, we're like, yes, it's going to be warm, it's going to be warm, and then bam, cold hits right before Halloween. So, I mean, not that I knock on wood, not that I end up in the lake when I'm paddleboarding, but if you're gonna, it's gonna be that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm like, I'm not taking that risk, but so that's it for Moms on Mics this week.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Moms on Mics Podcast, on TikTok at Moms on Mics, and join our Facebook group, Moms on Mics.
If anyone has any topics you want us to cover, or if you have any questions or suggestions, you can email us at momsonmics@gmail.com or submit through our website, momsonmics.com.
We would also appreciate it if you could rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening on. It really helps the podcast move up on their charts so that it gets more exposure. Hope you join us again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.